Good morning, Grizz here. It's Sunday morning. Welcome to day 87 of my Getting Healthy. And I was talking to a very dear friend yesterday about getting healthy. And one of the things that she told me was that getting healthy just isn't, like I've been talking about, isn't just, you know, eating correctly and changing, what you're putting into your system and how your body uses it. But it has to start with a mindset too. And I've been working on my mindset for quite a while. Because I'll tell you right now, I've had a lot to be bitter about. I've had a lot to be very, 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 very upset about. And I could choose to let that rule my life, to let that make me a bitter person. But instead, I've chosen to be grateful for the experience. Which makes me grateful for life. The experience is something I never, ever, up until it happened, would have even considered. It's something I've never even thought of. Because I thought, everything was, oh yeah. Let's just suffice to say it was nothing that I expected. And I could have chosen to allow that experience to affect me in such a negative way. I could have become a very bitter and hostile person. I could have, towards everyone. I could have blamed life for the circumstances it gave me. I could have blamed, the politicians if I wanted to. I mean, it was a pretty bad experience. I could have put the blame anywhere. And rather than blame anybody, I just chose to be grateful for the experience. Choosing to be grateful is a good thing. A little high this morning, 174 over 114 and 101. You can see it, there you go. But I decided that this specific thing wasn't going to make me a better person. So what did I do? I decided to turn it over to God and talk to Him about it. Whether you believe in Him or not, that's your choice. I'm not gonna. This is my thing. Yeah, I see things. You could be the Prophet Muhammad. It could be the non-existent God in the sky. It could be Thor for all I know. I don't know. Yeah, it could just be a higher power. But if it wasn't for delving into that, though, and delving into the Bible and reading the Bible, trying to and trying to adjust to the situation, it wouldn't drove me crazy. But it didn't, because I let God have it. Joseph, for instance, in the Bible, he could have chose to be a bitter, bitter, bitter human being for what his brothers did to him. How his family treated him, throwing him in a pit, selling him off as a slave. They didn't. He chose to be thankful. He chose to love. He allowed God to cause him to forget. He allowed God to work in his life. He allowed, and he stuck to his faith. He stuck to his guns, so to speak, and knew that things would get better, which they do. They say time heals all wounds, or it does. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes it feels like whatever's happening at that moment will never get better. I know, I've been there. And it feels like this weight on your chest, like there's an elephant sitting there. And the elephant keeps pushing down harder. You know, there's times it's hard to breathe. There's times you're just like, oh, I get through life without whatever. How can this situation turn out to be something good? The situation is so bad. Well, like I've said before, if you allow that bad situation to continue to make you a negative person, that's how it's going to turn. But if you choose to be grateful that it happened and know that something positive is going to come from it, whether you're Christian or not, it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. I use that because that's the reference I have. Okay, that's how I get through things. But if you allow that circumstance to just run amok, it's going to. If you dwell on that circumstance, your mind is going to focus on that circumstance. Your mind is going to see that as your subconscious doesn't understand the difference between reality and what's imaginary. So when you dwell on something that hasn't happened, dwell on something that's in the past and done, that's what your subconscious is going to seek out. It's going to seek out whatever that is. This is a thing that all rich people have said, powerful people have said. Whatever you think about, you become. So that's one of the uniform things. If you read Think and Grow Rich, that's one of the things he talks about. He talks about they all had different purposes in life. But the one thing that all these powerful people agreed on was whatever you think about will come to life. Because your subconscious does not understand that this is just imaginary. It's what you're feeding. So it seeks it out. If it wasn't for these people that imagined the internet, I couldn't be doing this, right? They sought it out. They found it, they figured out how to harness it and use it. And the facts are, it's always been here. Think about that. It's been accessible. From the beginning of time, the internet's been accessible. We just hadn't thought about it. We hadn't imagined it. We hadn't been grateful for the bad things that happened to us and grateful for the circumstances we're in now. I choose to be grateful. And the reason I choose to be grateful is because it keeps me centered, keeps me grounded, keeps me focused. That is right for me and for those that I affect. And you know, that's a pretty decent responsibility when you think about that. Who do you affect by choosing to be ungrateful? Who are you affecting? Somebody else. By choosing to be grateful, who, besides yourself, in all of this, besides yourself, who else? So that's a better question. Who else are you affecting with your attitude, with your gratefulness or your lack of it? Who else are you affecting? So think. And I am grateful that all of this negative that I've had has eventually led to this. Because what this has shown me is that it's not just my willpower that's caused part of this. It's part of my makeup. It's part of it's part of that DNA chain that's weak. So, and this is going to help reduce the negative that comes from that. And by reducing that negative, it creates a more positive outlook mentally and internally for me that I can put forth to everybody else. It all comes back down to the one simple thing that I've said before. You need to love yourself unconditionally so you can love others the same. The only way that's going to happen is to learn how to love you. And part of that, loving yourself, is being grateful for what you have, not being just selfish or jealous of anybody else. And if you see something you want, go, I'm grateful for what I have. I would like to have that. How do I go about getting that without harming other people, without putting other people out, without making other people miserable? How do I obtain that? How do I affect the people around me? Is everybody leaving our conversation feeling better about themselves? Or does everybody I talk to have a bitter undertone when the conversation's over? So what is it? What is it that's causing that? You? Is it that negative force you're putting out, or are you putting out a positive force? I try to put out a positive force. Why? Because that's the best way to show somebody you love. Just to be positive for them if they can. And sometimes it's hard to do. And we're not perfect, we're human. But that's okay. Being human is okay. Understand that we're flawed. We're not perfect. But we will, if we put our minds to it, accomplish many, many great things. And it's never too late. It's never too early. Time is always just right. I'm hoping that what I'm saying will help somebody improve their life just a little bit. That's all I really want. I want to improve your life. Be an influence on that. I can't improve it. You have to choose that. I want to help you understand certain things. And if that's the case, if you have questions, you just want to send me a message. Send me a direct message. I'm happy to find the time to have a conversation. I will put links to the products I'm using below for my weight loss and for strengthening my DNA chain so that you can take a look at those for yourself and decide if that's something you want, so you can research it and see. They're great products, but they're products you have to choose to use. I'm not going to make any claims on it. I will tell you that since I've been doing it, I'm feeling better, starting to recover from this last bout of illness that I had. And I must tell you that my eating habits have changed on their own. It's unusual. I remember never being able to push my plate aside with food left on it. Okay. I've never been able to do that and just go, I don't want it. I'm done. My body says I'm full, I quit eating. I've never been able to do that. Never. So in that aspect, it's working great for me. Clothes are fitting better, I'm feeling better, not getting as tired as quickly. So, in the long run, being grateful and allowing God to work in my life, allowing things positive to work in my life, positive things, thinking positive things will bring positive things to you. I'm learning that. Don't wait till you're 50. Don't wait till you're 55. Learn that early, if you can. And if you can't, learn it when you can. And just apply it to your life. Be positive, be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday. On that note, GRIZZ out.